who think it's perfectly reasonable to fly the Pakistan flag like it's literally like you've won a war, like you're an all-conquering army. BBC lied about it, saying she promoted race hate. She didn't promote it, she just said, for all I care. Who's going to win a dust-up? A bloke who carries bricks up on a hod 10 hours a day? Or Owen Jones, who works in The Guardian?
Hi everybody, and welcome back to Nick Talks. This episode's returning guest, still amazing guest, and he's still angry. But will he still be angry once we've started discussing what's happening in England? I don't think he'll be as angry as he normally is. But first of all, Angry Bootneck, welcome to the show.
Nick, how are we doing? Still furious. Hopefully you can soothe my soul and tell me some good news, calm me down a bit.
I'm sure I can on this episode. Now, we've had many conversations and they're always quite dire and I'm always quite serious about what's going on in the UK and in England. But recently, we've had the migrant hotel protests. They've been taking off. They're all over the country now. They've got good news this week. The Bell Hotel in Epping, the council took the government to court and can close down that hotel now, which is great. The government, for some reason, is appealing that because the government wants to keep them open, which has now led to more councils saying they're going to do that because they're all worried about not being elected again in May. So they're all worried about this. But then something new has happened as well, and they've called it Raise the Colours. So basically, raise the flags. We've got flags everywhere in England at the moment. It seems to be an English thing at the moment, and it's gone one step crazier. Mini roundabouts now are being painted with St. George flag. Pelican crossings, zebra crossings are being painted. There's graffiti everywhere, and I don't condone graffiti, but graffiti everywhere of St. George flag. It's as if the English people have finally woken up and we can hear them roaring again. We can hear the lion roar, the English. And I think what's happened over the last couple of decades is English tolerance has been confused with English cowardice. And we were never a cowardly nation. We were just too tolerant. And I think the English now have woken up and saying to themselves, we're being taken for fools and mugs. And they seem to be finding their voice. What are you seeing from California?
Well, I can't get as good advice on it as you, Nick. Obviously, I'm not in England. I'm pleased to hear that there's a lot of flags out there. You don't know what to believe these days in the media. You see it and you don't know. So it's good to see. Obviously, being a YouTuber, I keep my finger on the pulse and I do a lot of reading. I think the thing that sparked it off, you might be able to correct me if I'm wrong here. I think the thing that really sparked it up, it wasn't one event. But I think the thing that really kicked into overdrive was the fact that on Pakistan Independence Day, they were raising the flag of Pakistan over all these town halls. And I made a video about that. There was several town halls where they've televised it and filmed it and put it on social media of them playing the Pakistan national anthem and raising the Pakistan flag. And then I don't know which it was the spark that kicked it off, but somewhere someone put a Union Jack or a St. George cross up. And the local council removed it, didn't they? I think it was Birmingham, and then that's kicked it off. And I think that makes a lot of sense to me, which is why anyone with any sense seems to be joining in and encouraging the flying of the flags. It's not so much that people have got this explosion of aggressive patriotism, because the English have always been very understated about it ever since, we're both red-blooded Englishmen, and ever since I was a kid, we didn't do the things that the Americans do. We've never, my missus is a Yank, and she's told me when they were kids in school, they used to salute the flag every day, like they've put the flag up and play the national anthem. And even a man as patriotic as I am, consider myself to be very patriotic, I did think that was over egging the pudding. I said to her, I think that's a little bit weird. And this is something that made me proud of the UK, especially England, is that we never did that. And it made me proud because it sort of smacked of authoritarianism to me. The English have always been, obviously I'm biased, but from traveling all around the world, I always thought the English had the best attitude towards that patriotism. It was a sort of quiet, understated love for your country. And you were so confident in it that you didn't need to aggressively wave the flag and you didn't need to have children saluting the flag every day. And I was proud of that because to me, you shouldn't have to be a flag waver to love your country. And I was always pleased with the way England was like that. But now, as usual, we're being driven to this by lunatics who think it's perfectly reasonable to fly the Pakistan flag like it's literally like you've won a war, like you're an all-conquering army. To get a mob of your men who all look like you do and fly a foreign flag and play a foreign national anthem, and in the same day sign off on legislation where you're ordering your local council employees to go around taking down all the English flags and Union flags. That it's like losing a war. That's like the fall of Constantinople. Something. It's like, well, look what they did with the Hagia Sophia. It was a church. They take over it, repaint it, turn it into the obvious. I don't even like saying the word because it seems to get me banned. And this is what I'm talking about. So to me, it's not an aggressive display of unwarranted patriotism. It's the understated English with the quiet love of the country, simply pointing out the glaring hypocrisy of flying the foreign flags while removing the native ones. So I'm all behind it. I actually put a thing on my members chat on my channel saying, anyone who wants a flag and can't afford one, write to me and I will send one to you. I'll buy you one on eBay. I'll send it to your house. Yeah, I'm all behind it. I think it's unlike me to be all for aggressive flag waving, but when you've got foreign flags being flown and English ones being pulled down by the taxpayers, I think it's time for us to kick off about it a little bit. And I would encourage everyone to fly one.
Oh, absolutely. And it's not just foreign flags. The pride flag is everywhere. The progressive pride flag it's like our new religion. It wasn't that long ago we were flying Black Lives Matter flags, Ukrainian flags, at the moment, Free Palestine flags, and even Israeli flags. I'm sick of seeing other people's flags being flown in my country. Absolutely sick of it. Now, I think this new way of showing patriotism, especially in England, of the Union flag and St. George flag, I think there's more to it than just trying to reclaim the flag and just trying to outdo the Pakistan flag or anything else. I think what the English are trying to do now, and this is subconsciously, I think this is happening. I think the English are sending a message to the establishment and they're going, this is our country. This is ours. And we think we're losing this country. We can see this country dying. And this is us sending a flare into the sky. This is a signal, us telling you we've had enough and you need to do something about this. Because if this doesn't work, if painting St. George flags and flying flags, if this doesn't work and you don't change, the next step will be violence. And I think this is a warning shot across their bows saying the English have had enough. And if you don't start changing as the establishment, the government, bad times are coming because and I've met many people like this, they're talking in terms now of, I'm fighting to save my country. Not I'm fighting because I feel disrespected. They're actually saying I'm fighting to save my country because my country is dying. And if they don't take this warning, I've said many times now on many channels, civil war, mass urban violence, bad times are coming. And I think this is a final warning to the establishment.
100%. I totally agree with you. Well, see, that's leading on from what I was saying there, isn't it? Because this is what I'm saying about it almost being like a race to the bottom. The far right is a response to the far left. Politics is circular. It's always a response to the other. If you get aggressively left-wing, you get aggressively right-wing in response. And this sort of 2 decades of wokeism, that only became a term in about 2015, 2016. But the movement's been happening since Blair, where, you know, he was a covert Fabian type, and he pretended he was a centrist. And then when he got in, he sort of started that long march through the institutions and started replacing all the heads of all of the establishment with true believers. That's why the judges in the UK are just activists. They're just activists. The social media is replete now with stories of these activist judges giving you a slapped wrist if you're a full-blown kiddie fiddler from Pakistan or Morocco or Algeria or anywhere foreign, giving her a slap on your wrist. But Lucy Connolly posts a tweet saying she didn't promote. BBC lied about it, saying she promoted race hate. She didn't promote it. She just said, "For all I care," and I made a point about that. That's not illegal. I was like, if for all I care, you can drag Keir Starmer out of his office, put him on trial, and then give him the good news on old Sparky. For all I care, that's not against the law. For all I care, you can do it. I'm not promoting it. I'm just saying I don't care. That's not against the law. And she got jailed for a year. While the treat
for indifference. That's what that phrase means. Indifference.
Yeah, nonchalant ambivalence is against the law, apparently, if you're an activist judge. So what's happening here is a response. And as I said, I know a lot of your viewers are going to think I'm like some wet lefty, but honestly, because I love to read and I've always been, I am more proud of England than anywhere else. I'm an American now and I love America, but I have always preferred the English way of periodism because I do love the way the Americans are unabashedly flag wavers who salute the flag and sing to the kids. But I was always more proud of England because, like I said, we don't force the kids to do it. And I always thought, that's a good thing. That it's the nation that spawned Orwell should have that attitude towards periodism where we don't ram it down your throat. We just allow you to have the freedom. If you want to fly the flag and you want to sing the national anthem and you want to adorn your house with plates with the royal family on, like an old woman, I love that. You know, one of my ex-girlfriends the dad was from Vietnam and he had a picture of the Queen above his fireplace because he moved to the UK in the 70s and actually integrated because he was the only foreigner in like the entire town, basically, contrary to the lies where they're telling everyone that, you know, Henry VIII looked like he was from Nigeria. And back then, that was the attitude we had. And I preferred that. I think a nation that spawned Orwell should have that quiet, understated periodism, not like the Americans. But now, it really is time to push back. We've been pushed into this position. So now I've gone from understated, quiet periodism to daub the entire house with the St. George's Cross and aggressively flag wave. It's time to push back. And one thing I will say with that as well, you just reminded me, Orwell, it's good to talk about him because he was born in India, which a lot of people don't know. And therein lies this glaring paradox, this insane, brain-dead hypocrisy that anyone with eyes can see. It's fine to fly the Pakistan flag. It's not fine to fly the England flag in England. And Orwell, who was born in India, is the most English man ever. But apparently, if you're from India and your kid's born in Yorkshire and makes no effort to integrate at all, not only is he definitely English, the kid, he's more English than you. He's more English than me. This is their attitude. And like I said, this is why my channel's a comedy channel, because it writes itself. You don't need to be a comedy genius. You just need to report the news. Reading directly off the BBC is laugh out loud funny in this day and age. And if all those things I've just mentioned aren't hilarious to you, you haven't got a sense of humor. Like, the world has gone mad. The lunatics are running the asylum. You can fly a Pakistan flag in England, but you can't fly an England flag. And Idris Elba's more English than the Queen. It's a crazy time to be alive, isn't it?
Well, one of the councils, someone leaked an email from one of the councils who actually said, we're taking down the St. George's flag, but we're leaving all the other flags up because we're afraid what will happen if we take them down. And that explains a lot. Now, going back to American patriotism and English patriotism, America had to force people to be patriotic, salute the flag, sing the national anthem, because they really are a nation of immigrants. You know, English, Scottish, Irish, Welsh, Dutch, and they were trying to create a country. We could be a lot more reserved in our patriotism because up to recently we were one people anyway on one island. We didn't have to force it down people's throats, but we've now become what America is. We're now not one people anymore now due to multiculturalism and mass immigration. Hence why we need to get back to, we need to force people to integrate and force people to assimilate so we can live as one people on one island. There's two stories you may not have heard of this coming week. A couple of days ago, there was a gentleman and his mates hanging flags in the evening on lampposts, walking around his neighbourhood, and someone drove past and threw a petrol bomb at him. It hit him in the head, cut his head, bounced off his head, and set fire to the floor. Had to call the police. So things are, are beginning to ratchet up here. We don't know who those people were, but they're throwing petrol bombs at people putting flags up now. And the other story you may not have heard of, which I'm not too, I don't know much about myself because the mainstream media hasn't reported it. There's rumors now that in York, a group, again, these are rumors on social media. This hasn't been confirmed, but the rumors are there was people putting flags up, and a group of Asian-looking, Pakistani-looking men with bats and machetes turned up to stop them. The police were called, and the police had to separate them and stuff like that. None of the mainstream media's comment on this. I don't know if it's true or not, but people on social media seem to think it's true. So the point I'm trying to make there, things are beginning to ratchet up. You've got young men who love this country, and you'll have other young men who love Pakistan or love Nigeria or love somewhere else living in this country. When young men have differences, they sort it out with violence. And I don't know how we get out of this in the UK, in England.
Well, the problem is, right, we because we have this two-tier justice system, I'm sick of talking about it. I don't like the phrase. I wish I could come up with something better. But because we have that going on, it's emboldened the one side of the political spectrum. Of course, the left are the violent ones these days, because we know that if you so much as fart in the wrong direction, if you're right wing, they'll lock you up. We know that you get arrested for tweeting if you're right wing. But the left, even when they end up in court, they let them out. You know, they get these climate activists where they just acquit them for vandalism.
Well, even Labour councillors slit their throats on camera, being cheered, gets found not guilty.
I know. So, of course, the left are violent and the right will respond to it. And, I mean, the hopeful bit here is, well, read a history book. None of them do, which is why the postmodernists are all morons, because none of them know anything after about, before about 1960. But anyone who knows anything knows that when it comes to the dust-up, the left always lose. Happened in Weimar Republic, the left always lose. And when I was a kid and I first started learning about this stuff, it's like, I wonder why they always lose. And then you look around you now and you've got on one side Owen Jones, right, and some fat purple-haired woman. And on the other side, you've got a bunch of scaffolders and bricklayers and plumbers. Like, who's going to win a dust-up? A bloke who carries bricks up on a hod 10 hours a day? Or Owen Jones, who works in the Guardian? It's like, of course they're going to lose. So the hopeful part is when it does kick off, they ain't going to win. But the problem is they've promoted it by being wishy-washy and essentially promoting crime. They promote crime. Look at the grooming gangs. They knew they weren't going to get caught. Peter McLaughlin's book, the stories about a bloke getting filleted by a 12-year-old girl in a car. And when a copper walks over and says, "What's going on here, lads?" he laughs and goes, she's giving me a chew. And the copper just goes, and drives off. That's promoting it. He goes back to his kebab shop and says, "Hey, lads, this is funny. I told this copper what was happening," and he just drove off. You're promoting it. That's why there was 100,000 victims and no one did anything about it. They are promoting it. They're soft on them and stern with us. So it is going to kick off, and they caused it. It's that simple. You're promoting criminality when you don't clamp down on it. And it shows, again, it fills me with rage. It shows that it's all by design. Like I said, I've made this point about the borders. Donald Trump proved they had 300,000 crossings a month. He won the election. A week later, they're down to 500. It was a 99% drop in crossings in a week. They can do it at the press of a button. You don't even need to spend any money. We've already got Royal Marines, experts in amphibious warfare. You could get 1,000 bootnecks in 20 ships down on the channel. You wouldn't get a single crossing, but they're doing it on purpose. And it's the same with crime and punishment. After it kicked off because of Southport, they come down like a ton of bricks. They locked up hundreds of people, rounded them up, found all of them, and locked them up. Segueing into this, the story yesterday, did you see the one about the young lad who's being charged with burglary for going to a migrant hotel and getting a free meal? Did you hear about that one? Yeah. Lo and behold, they can catch burglars. Don't catch them if they come in your house, nick your granny's biscuit tin and snap one off on a kitchen floor. Don't catch them if they do that. But if you go against the state, they're around your house with 10 coppers 4 hours later. So it fills me with rage. There's no incompetence when they need to scoop up a burglar that has the wrong political opinions, but they won't find one who actually burgles your granny's house. So yeah, it's coming. It's going to kick off. And that's why I've said this for years. Do your due diligence. Stay fit, save your money, be a bit of a prepper as best an Englishman can, and get ready for the blow, because it's definitely coming.
Did you see the story 2 days ago outside a migrant hotel? Some young lad looks about 19 and he's shouting, "I love bacon." Police arrest him. Police arrest him on camera for inciting racial hatred. I love bacon. Let me tell you this, Matt. I do love bacon.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I remember being a kid and Good Friday was the only day. We weren't mega religious. Again, wonderful English people. Understated religious. We weren't didn't go to church out like that. But my mum always said, if you can't give the Lord one day, and she used to make us do Good Friday. And I remember going to the shop with her and then coming back and she went mental because she walked in the front room. My dad was eating a bacon sardine. She started twatting with the slipper. And I remember that well. That's just something that's true of English people. We love bacon. It's part of the English breakfast. It's like a national treasure, that, isn't it? The great quote from, was it A. Gill who said, if you want to eat well in England, just have breakfast 3 times a day. That's what I tell Americans all the time who slag our food off. But we love bacon. It's mental, isn't it? This is what I'm saying about it. Like, they come down on you like a ton of bricks if you've got the wrong political opinion. But they plead ignorance and claim it's like a competence issue. If they're struggling to deal with actual criminality, it's just a brazen lie. Everything these commies do is brazen lies. Starmer, did you see him yesterday? He got community noted on Twitter. Community notes work. It's like if thousands of people say it gets pinned to it. And he got community noted because on Twitter yesterday he put, we've capped bus fares at £3. Just more evidence that Labour's helping you. And pinned underneath it said, bus fares used to be £2 and were pushed up to £3 in January 2025 under Keir Starmer. It's like everything he says is the exact opposite of the truth. And that's what they're doing here. It's like the plead, it's a competence issue or a resources issue. Oh, we haven't got the resources when you've got the good opinions. If you're Pakistani and you're rogering children, we can't be expected to be everywhere. But then a young lad makes the government look daft and they have 10 coppers in his house an hour later. It's ludicrous. But that is hilarious. You've just made me think then. I think I'll come up with a new T-shirt design today. I'll move on from my Allen snack bar ones and I'll start knocking out. I think I'll do a cartoon pig with a can and a bikini on, and I'll put it on a shirt. I love bacon, beer, and bikinis.
Can you imagine if there was a demonstration outside the Korean embassy and people and the Koreans in London were shouting, "We love dogs"? They wouldn't be arrested, even though we find that offensive because the British, the English love dogs. We wouldn't get them arrested for that, but the other way around, it's crazy. Let's end on some good news. The good news is the number one political prisoner in the country, Lucy Connolly, has now been released. She's now all over social media, all over the mainstream media. I believe President Trump has invited her to the White House. He wants to talk to her. I've got a funny feeling that this lady is going to be the weapon that destroys Keir Starmer, because she's a woman, she's a mum. She got a 12-year-old daughter. She lost a child a couple of years ago. She did over a year in jail for, as we discussed, for being indifferent to the migrant hotels. She's got the right story now to destroy Keir Starmer, not only at home, but also on the international stage. I think she may be that person.
Oh, he is hoping. Well, apparently, I don't know if it's true, but they reckon she's going to meet a Trump envoy. So the Orange Oracle himself may be getting involved here, which is, it's just. And she's the woman to do it. She's the woman to do it because Honestly, what happened to her is an absolute travesty of justice. It is the definition of the word travesty. Again, our entire legal system is built off this bollocks about understanding and compassion. That's why every single lawyer, every single defense is always based around finding excuses for them. You know this every single time. Ricky Jones did it. That's not a new thing. That's the bog standard. Oh, he had a bad childhood. Oh, he got picked on at school. Oh, he has learning difficulties. Anything that can come up with. He's dyslexic.
He's black, racism.
Everything. Understanding when it's nonsense gibberish. Every kid gets made to do PE in their undies if they forget the PE kit. But in England, it's a legal defence. Oh, he had to do PE in his undies. Oh, well, we'll let him off then. So this is preposterous. That's part and parcel of it. But all of a sudden, Lucy Connolly, who lost a child, who was responding, she didn't just do it on a whim. People forget this. She didn't do it just randomly on a Tuesday. She was responding to the most brutal, evil assault, murder of children, purposeful murder of children. And she responded like that in response to the most savage attack we've ever seen on English soil. Where's the understanding?
And then regretted it and deleted it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But if you go out and fiddle it, sorry, not you. If a criminal migrant goes out and diddles some kids, they'll go, oh, well, I covered a story the other week, one who was let off for it because they said, oh, he had a bad childhood in Syria. Oh, we have to let him off then. But not a shred of understanding for Lucy Connolly. It's ludicrous. And this is what I'm saying. It's why she's got such a good case. It's why it enrages everyone who learns about it. Like I said, the Americans, they get half the story. You'll hear them go, oh, they locked some woman up for just tweeting about this. You go, no. She was responding to the worst, most horrific attack ever. She lost a kid. She was upset. She deleted it there. No compassion for her. Well, compassion if you're a kiddie fiddler and you say, oh, I'm dyslexic. It's a preposterous. So hopefully the Orange Oracle, he's not as daft as they think he is. We aren't as daft as they think we are. When they lie to our face and tell us they've just capped the buses at £3 and we remember them putting them up in January, we remember we're not that thick and he's not that thick. So when Starmer goes in front of him and goes, oh, Donald, we're going to have you over on a state visit. Oh, we've definitely got freedom of speech. He knows he's a liar because he's watching what he does a week earlier on the telly in England. So let's hope she gets some traction. And the orange one and Mr. Vance haul that scumbag android gimp across the coals because he deserves it. It fills me with rage. That's such a glaring contradiction. Every single court case, compassion, understanding, bad childhood, dyslexic. But as soon as you respond to a mass murder because you lost a kid and you're upset, they go, no, there's no excuse for this. No, there's no excuse for losing your temper. Shut up. It's preposterous.
No, the miscarriage of justice there, absolutely. It's the epitome of our two-tier criminal justice system. It's shown the world now that we're turning into a third world banana republic where you can't trust our criminal justice system. There's also rumours that Lucy may be standing for MP against Yvette Cooper at the coming general election for whenever it comes. She's got lots of options now. I hope she ends up in America very soon, speaking to Trump, because that will get traction around the world, and that will give her a lot more credence. But I hope she's the weapon. I hope she's the bullet that takes Starmer out. I really, really hope so. And when she does, we'll jump back on here and we'll discuss it.
Yeah, and we'll flag wave for England again. Like I said, I do think everyone is proud of where they're from. But that sort of understate the fact it's took this long fills me with pride, with quiet pride for the English. Like anyone else would have kicked off years ago. The Americans wouldn't stand for it. It fills me with pride. And even that you said about I love dogs, that fills me with pride because we love them, because we like petting them. The Koreans love them ground up in a lasagna. So I think we've even got that one. Yeah, I think change is coming. It's long overdue. And the fact that we've got the patience of any 10 saints as a nation should make you very proud, even when the inevitable happens. It's going to be a rough time, but certainly it was long overdue in my book.
Absolutely. Mr. Angry Bootneck, you're not as angry as you normally are because I think I've cheered you up with the flag waving, the mini roundabout painting, and Lucy Connolly. So I think I've done my job today and cheered you up a little bit.
You should be a professional counsellor. Very well done. Cheers, Nick.
Thank you, and let's do this again soon.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Bye-bye.